Picture a small village divided sharply by class. On one side, a wealthy man lives in a sprawling mansion surrounded by helpers. On the other, a poor man lives in a tiny, cramped shack with barely enough resources to survive. A harsh winter storm rolls in. The wind howls, the temperature drops, and the poor man faces an immediate crisis. His firewood is entirely gone, and he has zero money to buy more. Centuries of storytelling condition us to view this exact setup with suspicion. We see the mansion and the shack, and we instantly cast the wealthy elite as the antagonist, someone who will inevitably ignore or exploit their impoverished neighbor. This is a documented psychological bias. Readers approaching this specific folktale carry that exact expectation. When presented with the premise, real audiences explicitly predict hostility, leaving comments like, "I thought the rich man would be so mean." We trap ourselves in our own narrative expectations. The stage is set for a tale of resentment and class conflict. Then the winter storm peaks, and a knock echoes through the poor man's tiny house. The door opens, revealing the rich man standing in the snow, carrying a large bundle of chopped firewood. He hands over the fuel with a simple, direct explanation. Times are tough, and no one should suffer in the cold. The anticipated conflict vanishes. In its place, we find unprompted, unilateral empathy. When the expected villains of a story choose kindness instead, the structural fabric of that entire community begins to shift. The two men sit together by the newly lit fire, warming their hands and sharing stories as the blizzard rages outside. As winter continues, the rich man maintains his material support, providing food, firewood, and warm clothing. The poor man lacks the funds to repay him, but he possesses a different, equally vital currency: relational wealth. He heads into the forest, foraging for specific berries and herbs. He weaves a humble basket for these treats, presenting it to the rich man alongside his time and his company. This abstract scale illustrates their exchange. On the left, icons representing material goods drop in. On the right, icons for relational goods drop in. It levels into perfect equilibrium, showing physical survival tools hold the same weight as relational tools for a fulfilling life. This equal exchange removes the traditional hierarchy of charity, replacing it with a reciprocal friendship. Spending time in the poor man's tiny shack, the rich man absorbs the cozy, intimate atmosphere of the space. He realizes that back across town, his massive, echoing mansion lacks the specific warmth he feels sitting next to this humble fireplace. A large estate offers very little actual comfort if there is no one around to share it with. The rich man concludes that wealth relies on the active sharing of resources, rather than the passive accumulation of assets. This logic bridges the divide between the two men. Each possesses exactly what the other needs to thrive. This bond does not happen in a vacuum. The rest of the village begins to notice this unusual friendship between the wealthy elite and the impoverished. Seeing those class walls fall encourages the neighbors to lower their own guards. They start helping one another, sharing what they have, and looking out for neighbors. Look at this network graph modeling social contagion. We start with two brightly colored nodes, the rich man and the poor man, connected by a single empathetic action. As the village observes, the behavior rapidly spreads outward, illuminating the entire network node by node. Neighbors who once kept to themselves are now sharing their berries, their firewood, and their time. A town that was previously defined by its harsh class divisions begins to function as a warm, collaborative community. By rejecting their assigned narrative roles, these two men showed their neighbors that the value of a community is found in its willingness to lend a hand and share a smile.